I just filled it up again.
So how you doing?
Good. Well, I've got this log. Everything's kill dried. I got it out in high. My wife's cousin has a sawmill out there. He specializes in walnut. Something like that. But these pieces, and I got about 2 other ones that are close to this size that has that diameter in the center. So I took it over to Martin's chair and had them flatten it. They flattened everything on the CNC router. Then I put a 3/4 inch melamine on the bottom and sealed everything off. Just filled it up with epoxy. About 2.5 gallons. And epoxy, of course, this is all end grain. So everything went in as much as, because that epoxy, if there's a pinhole, it'll go through, which you can see on the floor. That some leaked out. I think the leg of that sawhorse is epoxy to the floor. I'm going to have to pry it off. And I put some black in it. I wanted some black veins, but then it cracked and kind of went all over the place. I'll put 3 legs on it. Another 16-inch copper tape.
Where'd you get the legs made?
Blue ball machine. Okay. Then I had a guy right over beside our shop, has a powder coating. He just moved in. Powder coated. Done a good job, I thought. I mean, this walnut comes out of the same tree. And I have about 5 other pieces just like this. Now, some of them have a little more cracks in them. So most of them you can get, a nice circle out, or you could use that as a table. Then I have the pieces in the back, which they all come out of the same tree. Everything's kill dried. But this one here, I had that quite a few years. These were just pieces that were just really cracked up. Yeah, that's a spalted maple. I'm going to make a table out of that and use a sofa table.
Okay.
Out of that. Oh, cool. Sometimes. I was in the cabinet business ever since I was like 20 years old. Started making countertops, installing kitchens for other contractors. We used to make our countertops out in the job.
Okay.
Take a 5 by 12 piece of laminate out, bunch of particle board, glue everything up, make everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then we thought, well, we could do it better. We'd have a shop that we could make them in here. So this shop here is actually what I started.
Okay.
And then I only had half of just about where you're standing over. For like 5 years, and then we outgrew that. Then we moved up the street, actually right beside Pellman's, and were in there for 6 years, and then moved over to where we're at now. That's the second building. We were in the first one about 13 years, and now we just moved in the second one just this summer, June. This is a piece of rosewood I got from Florida. This one here. That stuff is just harder, really hard to turn. It has a lot of light colors in it, sapwood. I think that, no. Oh man, the guy gave it to me. He told me what the name of it is.
It's not mulberry, is it?
He said it stinks like cat pee if you start turning it. Well, I don't like that smell anyhow. Wormy cherry. Yeah, my son-in-law cut down in his front yard. Yeah, these have some. Do something with it, but that's what it looks like. I made some stuff out of that. Once you start turning into that, I don't know how it is now, but man, the ants started coming out of there just by thousands.
How long you had that?
Probably maybe 2 years. But the tree was dead for a long time. Yeah, I think that might be an apple. My son cut down. And then this is that's maple. Some birch in there, and this is fallen maple here. Just like that piece there, it's too. This is a, I don't know what the name of it is, but it comes out of Massachusetts. Somebody that brought a log down. They wanted me to cut a bunch of cookies off for a wedding to set on the tables. So I made about 50 out of those. I was going to make some other stuff out of it. Most of it's walnut that I didn't want to throw away, but what do you make that of? That's fallen maple.
Spalted maple?
I got a big tree up at Lidditz. So
How long you had that?
that probably 4 or 5 years. Norfolk Island pine. And that's a piece of cherry. Okay, I came up with an idea that I'm gonna make a plate for the New Holland police officers come in the coffee shop every morning. They always sit at a table, same table. So I'm gonna make a thin blue line plate for them. And I'm going to put maybe a 3/8 inch blue. That it's a work in progress. I think I'm going to have to paint it on. I made another one started. I wanted to do epoxy,
Okay.
and I used this here. There was a little pinhole in there, and I had a groove made, poured epoxy in, and it came out the back. There's a little pinhole. And I tried and tried sanding it to get that out, and that epoxy soaks in the wood, and you can't hardly get it out. So that went the whole way through. Maybe I want to put a blue line and then a little black around the blue on the outside. And then I have this. And that I'm going to put in the bottom. Insert it in there. And I'll go the whole way through so you can see both sides and epoxy it in. I don't know, they're out of the way. I just didn't like to stand at a bump my head all the time, so I just moved them up and I could get them. And I had them one time, but I had them across here, and I just didn't like that because it's, for me, reaching across a moving tool isn't the safest. And I can easy here, just turn around and grab a tool and I know where everyone's at. And my grinder, and this is the thing I made too.
All right.
I just tap it in there and that keeps it there. And when if I don't want to use it, I can move it back. The wooden bar I folded on the lathe. It's going to be a ring bowl, but it was wet. And this wood is out of the same log, and I'm just letting them dry. But this platform scale I bought at an auction, and I thought, what am I going to do with it? It was all rusty. I gave $30 for it. So I took it over to where I got the powder coated stuff made, and they sandblasted it and powder coated it. And I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good thing to put my wet wood in. Like now, I did that while I moved it one time when I put it on. Now about a week later, I moved it back that it dried enough that you could tell now. I'll wait till it quits moving. Sure. Get the moisture out. My granddaughter left this note for me one time when I was at home. And she was referring to that cat. And she had picked out a piece of wood out of a bucket, this piece that she wants me to make that cat.
So how long have you been wood turning? Brian?
Just since I retired, 5 years. I always enjoyed wood turning. My dad had a lathe at home. And he would make barn pins for the timber frame.
Oh yeah.
And we turned those out when I was like 13, 14. And I always enjoyed working on a lathe. And I always thought if I retire, that's what I want to do. So I got a jet lathe from Blue Wall Machine. About 3 or 4 years before I retired, then I started collecting tools and just what have you.
So the one way was a retirement gift to yourself, was it?
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah. I'm John.
John and
Hi.
Doug.
I'm Doug.
And that's copper table made. That's white oak. That slab out there.
Did you turn that, or did that come from the
No,
CNC?
I had somebody turn them, make it on a CNC. Just finish. But, yeah.
Same tree.
That I turned on the lathe.
Oh, did you?
And what?
Well, you know, you can.
Yeah, you can make stuff like that. Then I made that stuff. And this one here was kind of tricky. Yeah, crap. There it is. They're one of my very first since I started making. Piece of rosewood.
What's that? On the top there.
This is just something I made. A piece of fruit. And I don't know what it's supposed to be. I made one like this, a little bigger, and took it over to the, well, actually, I was going to throw it away. This is stupid.
It's
Then
frivolous.
my wife seen it down the shop. She said, "You're not going to throw that away." So I finished it, put a little backpack. It's a guy walking across the desert. Took it over to the farm show when they had New Holland
Mhm.
farm show. Got first prize for it.
Cool.
I thought, well, somebody liked it. I said, "Oh, you made a space needle." I said, "Well, yeah, it's not what it was going to be." And yeah, it stayed pretty good.
I was thinking the CN Tower, actually. So,
Yeah. But it was top heavy, so I drilled a hole in the bottom, filled it up with BBs. Maybe about this far.
that's a good idea. Let me put it back for you. Thanks.
Norfolk Island pine with Purple Heart.
Me and your wife isn't allowed to come down to watch TV.
She does. She's allowed to clean.
Oh, yeah.
She likes it. No, she comes there. And this is a lampshade I made. You guys seen that?
It's nice to see it in the world.
This was a mistake from something I got it way too thin and it cracked. And this is another Norfolk Island. I wanted to make this Christmas. I still want to make a bunch of these here. Little boxes with acorns.
You have a threading apparatus in your shop, do you?
Yeah, I do. Well, I'll show you this first. I think you've seen it before. How I put the,
Yeah, very good.
just hollow out the back.
Yeah.
And it goes right over. And put an end cap on.
Let me guess, you mount them in 16-inch centers, is that right?
Yeah. This is a Norfolk Island pine. I don't know why I'm intrigued with those, but then I put a Purple Heart lid on, and that's hollowed out. This is something that was wet when I turned it, and I tried to put a thread on. Or it wasn't dry enough, so. And these are just. This I made for my wife on Valentine's Day. I made a Hershey Kiss.
So it's down here in the man cave, eh?
Yeah. She has its stuff up there. That's the first stop. And when she gets tired of it, she'll put it down here.